Recently, there's been a lot of hype surrounding EA's Battlefront series on social media, which has led to a resurgence in player base, a call for renewed support for Battlefront 2, which ended years ago, and even calls for a new Battlefront 3. And the question you might be asking is why? Why out of nowhere? Well, really, it's not out of nowhere because Battlefront 2 specifically has held a strong community even through its rough patches, which it's had a very big rough patch. But this strong player base, small but strong, that stayed with the game, has led to now what is outside support from actors, developers, streamers who have joined in this recent push for more support or a new game from the community. And really, at the crux of it is the fact that Battlefront or EA's Battlefront, even the originals are great. Everybody knows that. But EA's Battlefront, really at its core, has always been a great game. The original, when announced, was one of the most hype things to come out in a while. It not only riffed off of the original's extreme success, but it looked great. EA's reputation wasn't really in the tank yet. I mean, it was slipping, but it wasn't in the tank just yet. So there was a lot of hope. And really, the game itself was smooth. It had great gameplay mechanics. It felt like a Star Wars game. It felt cinematic. It felt nice. The only thing I'd say about the original EA Battlefront was there wasn't much variety in like customization or features, weapons, things like that. But really, for what could have been an epic failure from EA, I'd say Battlefront 1 was a success. A safe success, but a success nonetheless, which paved the way for the game we all know and love today, Battlefront 2. So let's talk about it. Star Wars Battlefront 2 EA. Its full length review trailer on YouTube has around 17 million views as of today. A lot of hype surrounding the game came from hopes of more wide ranging content like sequel sequel trilogy, whatever, whoever's excited for that, don't know, not me. Uh Obviously original trilogy, which we already had, but more on that. And importantly, and a little biased here, prequel content, Clone Wars content. The reason why Clone Wars content was so sought after, or it still is, honestly, if you look at a lot of what Disney has put out, although not a lot of it's been great, but it's been okay. Uh, sorry, a little off topic. But it's because a lot of the video game audience grew up with the prequels. A lot of young adults, teenagers, all they know really is prequel content. Some people, obviously, even the youngest, is sequel trilogy, but forget about that. And really, this blew up the expectations, the hype for the game, and really did wonders for people's hopes. And then we have the launch. All right, Battlefront 2 EA launch. So, before I get into what obviously is the biggest controversy and what quite honestly caused the downfall of this game, I just want to say that the game itself, aside from progression, was a extremely enjoyable experience. It ran. I don't remember exactly what console I played it on, but it ran very smoothly, looked amazing, and like just like the first one, felt like a Star Wars game. It felt great to play, and I just don't want that to get lost in what's to come. All right, the loot box controversy. Now, anyone familiar with EA knows about their sports games, most notably FIFA. And we all know that FIFA has these packs where you unlock players of varying quality. Uh, they're loot boxes basically, but they're tied to basically one of those games is progression. It's better players to make a better team, which affects the game obviously. Not it's not just aesthetics, like it's something like a Overwatch, for example. And well, let's just say EA FIFA'd Battlefront 2. Which is to say, they made progression in the game itself without spending any money horribly slow. And I mean mind bogglingly slow. To try to get the players to buy loot boxes to speed up progression. Which, okay, that might work on FIFA, hard quotes, players. Not even sure those are people, honestly. I think most of those individuals go into a nursing home by age 20. I don't think they have a functioning brain, to be honest. But not much more on sports games players. Those people should be a protected group. Let's leave it at that. All right. But it did not go over well in the Battlefront community or really the gaming community at all. Uh, Things like this are how would I say, a hard line, or at least it should be a hard line in the gaming community. Progression should almost never be tied to gambling. I would say never, but some could argue, like obviously FIFA players, whatever those things are, uh, should never be tied to progression. Even pay to win, it only works on mobile gamers. Uh, but with console players, you're paying a high price for these games, and they want you to spend more to progress quickly. It's a shame, really, honestly. And let's just say this controversy didn't just blow up in the gaming community. It got a lot of outside attention too, which really put the heat on EA, deservedly so. But it really, the games community kind of fell apart at this point. Unfortunately, there are a couple other contributions to it, but publicly speaking, this is kind of why the game and really the series came to screeching halt. Other things were content was a little slow to come out. People were expecting more on release than what we got, but obviously EA promised I forgot what it's called, but live support. Like they're gonna keep releasing content. Uh, I don't quite remember, but I'm not sure if it was they promised it'd be free before release or maybe it was after controversy. But all that content ended up being free. It was great. Loot boxes obviously got changed and removed basically from the game. They're obsolete. You only really see them when you unlock something. They come in like a loot box. The credits in the game are worthless. They don't do anything anymore, which is fine. There's not much to. There wouldn't be much to buy anyways, right? Besides loot boxes. So fast forward to today, where there's a resurgence of players. There's renewed calls for Battlefront 3 or support for Battlefront 2. How likely are these things to happen? Well, there's been a lot of outside support, like I previously mentioned. Developers who worked on Battlefront 2, actors, streamers, just the gaming community in general. But this is all just speculation. I don't know anything. I'm just a fan talking about something I really enjoy. I'm not sure how willing Disney is to give EA another chance because it was a very public failure and indictment on EA for what happened on Battlefront 2 with the loot boxes. So I'm not sure if Disney is gonna feel too burned to let them try again. Hope not, obviously. And I feel if presented with the opportunity, EA would take it, just because their reputation currently isn't good at all. Unfortunately, like a lot of gaming companies we've known to love in the past. But I'm hopeful, as always. I mean, there's no harm can come from what's happening now. Only good can come from it. Maybe more support. Maybe who knows? Maybe this uh puts things to work behind the scenes to just get the topic on the board, on the table, for people who can actually make it happen to think about. I think the EA Battlefronts have been really enjoyable, and I'm hopeful for the future. If you guys enjoyed watching, please leave a like, subscribe. Feels weird to say that the first time. All right, thanks.